on today's webinar to see what's new in Revu 2017. A lot of new exciting features that come out in this new release. Today's webcast panelists are myself, Dan Coogan, with SolidCAD, and my partner over at Bluebeam, Drew Finkel. Going to give you a quick introduction on SolidCAD and who we are and what we do, and then I'm going to pass the mic over to Drew, and he's going to take us through what's new in 2017. If you haven't downloaded 2017 yet and you're on maintenance, so you can head over to your the Bluebeam webpage and head over to the upgrade your license, enter your serial number, and you will be able to update your 2016 or 2015 version to 2017. Quick overview of who SolidCAD is. So we are primarily an Autodesk partner, and we are Platinum across Canada under the Cancel umbrella. We are professional services. We provide full technical support and training and consulting on Autodesk and Bluebeam software and solutions. We have a lot of different technical guys who specialize in manufacturing, architecture, and engineering and construction. So there is pretty much no gray market that we have not touched already. And we have actually one of the biggest technical teams, and even bigger now under the Cancel company, technical specialists. So we are up to approximately, I think, just under 30 people who specialize on technical aspects of the software and services that we provide. Can we jump to the next slide? So as I mentioned, we're under the Cancel umbrella, and we actually have offices in different provinces that are currently under the Cancel company name. But here in Ontario, we just operate as SolidCAD. And so some people are only familiar with SolidCAD because we do manage all their Autodesk and Bluebeam software, and that's fine. But if you do have affiliates or branch offices in other provinces, you can, I encourage you to reach out to our Cancel company and work with them as well. And we talk to them regularly. Next. The services we provide, a huge array of different professional services. Everything, like I said, from basic implementation services to training and consulting on the Autodesk Revit side, even CAD. We provide automation, programming. Bluebeam has now become a standard household name in a lot of the Autodesk production houses. So we are now helping people implement Bluebeam in their workflow for PDF and document management, and really kind of reducing the amount of paper usage and overhead that comes with plotting. All right, next one. If you're not familiar with SolidCAD, we're actually a Bluebeam certified trainer. So we do have 2 certified trainers plus another one who's going to be coming up the ranks shortly. We provide your typical standard Revu 101 training, document management, as well as some custom training programs that people have asked us to develop. So, if you have a group of estimators and all they want to know is how to use Revu for day-to-day estimations and the takeoffs, we'll develop a custom course specific to your business using your data set, focus on those topics that you want to cover. So if you have any questions about that, you can head over to our website under the training tab there, and you'll see some of our training offerings from the Autodesk and Bluebeam side. One thing that you should know, we have an upcoming Bluebeam introduction for project managers. It's running next week, April 25th, in Mississauga at the Center for Health and Safety Innovation, a really beautiful facility that really has set up training rooms to help learning. This training is really targeted for PMs who are, never used a Revu or first time have, basic understanding of how to use it. So both Drew and I will be teaching this course and really showing you guys how to leverage Bluebeam for day-to-day use on your projects. We'll be looking at using the basic collaboration tools like Studio, slip sheeting, batch functions like links with large PDF sets, looking even how you integrate Set 3.0 into Studio collaboration, and we'll be able to answer some of your questions throughout the training as well. If you have any questions about the training, you're welcome to send an email to us or give us a call. But you can register for this training. It's a special price of $99 plus HSC for the entire day, and it does include the lunch for the day. And my contact information, if you want to get in touch with me, my extension 230, and our phone number again 1-877-438-2231, and that spells out GetCAD1, GETCAD1. CAD1. We'll leave this up a little bit later on, so if you do have any questions, we'll do a follow-up email as well with my contact information. Okay? So I'm going to pass over the mic to Drew. He's going to take us through the introduction of what's new in Review 2017. If you guys have any questions, please use the chat box. Drew, is the chat box open for questions?
Yeah, I was about to say that. Let me make it so that you guys can see it real quick. And okay, as we go through, actually.
You've made us the presenter.
Yep, hang on. There we go.
Perfect. So now we've got the question box available. So if you guys have any questions, please post them in the GoToWebinar question box, and we'll answer them throughout or at the end of the presentation, okay?
Perfect. Thanks, Dan. That was the one thing I was about to say. That, I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of questions as we go through it, and I'm going to completely throw it to you guys to answer those questions as we're going through. So thank you very much, Dan. Now I get to do the fun thing of showing off all the new and exciting features for Review 2017. I've gotten to do these. By the way, I'm Drew Finkel. I work with SolidCAD with Dan quite often, and I've got to do these new feature webinars for 2015, for 2016, for 2017. This is a really, really exciting release. I will say that of the releases that I've gotten to present, this one may have some of the most exciting new features that I get to talk through. So I'm going to start things off with talking a little bit about Bluebeam as a company. So a little bit about us. So in the past, we've really said that we focus on making smart, simple PDF solutions for working professionals, but we've really gone beyond that. We have now an innovative technology solution that, as Dan said, it sets the standard for what you guys are doing with the companies that you actually work with on a regular basis for collaboration and workflow efficiency for AEC professionals worldwide. Some of the stats that we have on here, they are US-based, your neighbors to the south. So 94% of top US contractors, 86% of top US design firms, 78% of top US specialty contractors. They're impressive. A lot of people are using it. We have some other statistics as well, a little bit more global, but it's a very, I guess the features, the statistics are very similar across the entire Americas. So our solutions, these are really our two products that we offer. We have the one that you're probably very, very familiar with, Bluebeam Revu, the end-to-end digital workflow and collaboration solution, trusted by over 1 million AEC professionals worldwide. That's a lot of people. A lot of people are using our software, and we are growing each and every day. The next one is Bluebeam Studio. It's included with every single seat of review that you purchase. It's the collaboration platform that connects project partners worldwide in real time on the same set of centralized documents. So you have that single source of truth. Bluebeam Studio is included with your copies of Review that you have right now. There are some premium versions, Studio Prime and Studio Enterprise. I will throw that to all the questions that you have on that. Just reach out to Dan, and he can fill you in on what those two premium offerings of Studio offer, what questions you may have, and what it may be able to do for you. So this slide is really to show off where and when Bluebeam Revu and Studio are going to be able to work into your project lifecycle, and that's it. From the beginning, when you're designing your project, all the way to project handover, there are features at the beginning, there are features at the end, there are features all the way through, the whole way through, that will be able to make your process a lot more efficient. So we're almost done with the slides. My favorite part is actually going into the software itself. So for Review 2017, we got to focus a lot more on some workflow. We did a workflow focus and enhancements rather than just adding in some brand new features that we had before. So we wanted to make sure that we maximize your workflow efficiency, and the tools that I'm about to go through are going to really show off that. So First things first, we're going to talk about our quantity takeoff workflows. Then we're going to talk about automation and visualization tools. So for the takeoff workflow, it's the big workflow that we focused on for 2017 and the area I'd say that we made the biggest strides to increase the workflow and efficiency that you guys are looking for. When we move into the automation and visualization, some of the tools that we go through, they're going to be extreme only. I'll make sure to mention that, but probably about 80% of the tools that we're going through here are going to be standard and CAD as well, not only just extreme. So when we're talking about quantity takeoffs, why do we want to focus on this? So a lot of workflows that you guys probably are working on, a lot of the things that you may focus on, we wanted to make sure that we brought everything up to the same level that all of our other features were on. So quantity takeoffs, they're huge in the industry, and they're performed by a ton of people. So every project out there is going to be put out for bid. So, an example would be that an owner creates a request for a proposal. They go to a group of general contractors, and, in whatever that example may be, there could be 3, there could be 4, there could be 20. But the GC is then going to send out all that work to the subcontractors, and then they are going to have to work up all their quotes for the specific portions that they're working on. And then the sub is going to do their takeoffs and estimates, and they're going to send it back to the general contractor, who's going to compile all the estimates, and then send it back to the owner. Then after all of that work, the owner is just going to choose one single proposal for that job. So in that example, there's 20 or more GCs. There are potentially up to 120 subs on some jobs. That could be 2,400 people total that are doing all of these bids. And in this example, if only one gets chosen, that's 5% of them are going to end up getting work. That's a lot of takeoff work. That is a lot. So the contractors are making up a lot of bids and doing a lot of work. However, none of that bidding work is actually paid work. So we wanted to find ways that we can make it so that it's even faster and more accurate, so that they can get through this unpaid work as quickly as possible and get onto the paid work itself. So the features that we're going to talk about. The really cool part about this one is it's more of a workflow as we go through it, rather than just a feature-by-feature run-through. So for this one, we're going to talk about dynamic fill. It's a much faster way to do takeoffs and estimates. Quantity link. This one is one of the extreme-only ones. It's a wow feature. It's a direct tie-in from Revu right into Excel. Some measurement tool enhancements. These are from customer requests. And then we have some count tool enhancements as well. The next up is automation and visualization. Some automatic form creation and batch sign and seal. These are the two that are extreme only on the automation side. Automatic form creation, it is a very, very highly requested feature that we've been asked about it for quite a while. It's here, and it's the fastest demo ever. Then batch sign and seal, made by the developer that sits right next to me. So I got to see the development of it throughout the entire process, which was pretty cool. A way to really streamline and make that signing and sealing and doing signatures on documents a lot more efficient and quicker. And then we're going to talk about 360 photos and then some enhancements that we made to 3D PDFs. That's basically all the slides that I have. Now we get to jump into the slide deck. I am going to move back to this slide here so that I can reference it as we're going through, make sure that you guys know where I'm at, and also so that I know where I'm at as well as we go through. There we go. All right. So first things first, we're going to show off all of these quantity takeoff tools. This is what we're going to do here is pretty much your standard workflow that you would have to do takeoffs. So opening up a document, that's the first piece of it. I've done that part for you beforehand. If you guys don't know, click on open, you open the document. So when you have your document opened up, the things that you want to do basically to set it up from the get-go. You have your document. You want to make sure that you have your correct set of standardized tools that you're working on, and that a correct profile or anything like that. Luckily, in this document, it actually has the profile and tool set built right into it. You just double-click on it. It'll actually say, do you want to add these advanced tools that have been created into your copy of Revu? If I hit open, I'm going to get an error because I've already added it in. But there we go. It's going to say that can't import that tool set, but let me just go to my advanced materials, and here they all are right over here on the left-hand side. The next thing that you would want to do, make sure that your drawing is properly calibrated. That can make a lot of the estimates and takeoffs that you do pretty inaccurate if your document is not properly calibrated. So going up to the Measure tab here, clicking on Calibrate, it's going to say select 2 points to calibrate the measuring tool. When I click OK, I'm just going to select 2 points. From here to here, it says that that amount of space that I did is 1 foot. Judging by the drawing saying it's 16 feet, I'm going to probably say it's 16 feet. So one of the new things that we added this year, not only to have the the scale stored on the page, but you can actually apply it to all pages, any of those pages that you have on the drawing. So if you have a multi-page PDF. So I'm going to click OK. Now the drawing is properly calibrated. We're 2/3 of the way there. So now we have our drawing here. It's all put in there. The last one is to make sure that you have your markups list set up properly. So in this one, we have the only markups that are actually listed on here right now is that file attachment. On the other ones that you want to have, make sure that you have your status, make sure that you have the space. We made 2 custom columns so these are all the places where you can turn on and off your columns. When I click on this little gear wheel here and manage columns, you'll be able to see the custom columns that we've made. This material and material cost are the 2 custom ones. So I'm going to open those up to show you what's in here. But we made these custom ones to have the specific item, the subject, which is going to be whether it's a finish, a ceiling, or flooring, and then the number as well. So that's actually the cost that's associated with it. The material cost here takes the measurement, so the amount of space that material, when you're doing those measurements, happens to be, multiplied by the material to give you an estimate of that cost. So these are just some custom columns that are going to be done. The markups list is very, very similar to that of sort of Excel within Revu. When we talk about quantity link, you'll see sort of some of the shortcomings of the markups list and now how you can actually have it exported right out into Revu. So with that, we now have our 3 things that we really need to have set up so that we can now do our measurements. So in the past, you could just go up to the top under measurements here, click on area, and do any of the measurements that you wanted to do. But there are better and faster ways of doing it now in Revu. So we're going to show off dynamic fill. So let's go and let's find a nice area on this drawing that I can do this looks good, to do some estimates to find out the proper square footage for these rooms. So I'm going to click on this new tool up here called Dynamic Fill. I'm going to pretty much move along the line here to sort of explain what each of these means. So first things first, define the boundary. What I want to do is, as I go through, I'm going to basically mark off any boundary lines that aren't completely solid. So I'm going to go through, click on the door, click over there, do the same thing here. There we go. I've set those up. And next, as I move through, I can click on the actual fill button here. So this is pretty much just like it's a paint bucket icon. That's exactly what it is. I just click and hold, and it's going to fill up that room. It's going to stop at any lines that I go to. I just click my mouse and move on top of it, and it's going to basically move into any of those parts of the line as I go. So you can see that it doesn't go over this line because it's a solid line. I just drag my mouse on top and it'll fill it in. I can actually go through and click on this little settings. I can change the boundary size. I can change the fill size. I can change the fill speed and the edge sensitivity as well. This is how I like to have it set up, so that's the way I have it set up. As I keep going down the line, it's going to say, do I want to create a space for these that I've made? I do. I want to make it so that as I go through, I'm going to turn this on, make sure that it's going to create a space. This is similar to the rooms that you may have made in Revit. I can do a polygon markup, and I can also do area measurement. So since these are offices, I'm going to click on this. Because I have my advanced materials takeoff pulled in here, it's able to pull from those. Since these offices are going to be extremely, extremely classy, I think that we're going to put a wonderful tile floor in them. I can do a poly length measurement. I can also do a perimeter measurement as well. So in these rooms, because super classy, having a ton of tile, let's do a tile base on that as well. and I can do a volume measurement if need be. So when I'm done, I just click apply, and what that's going to do is do it's going to calculate all of the area for all of those rooms right here. So we can look down at the bottom here, and it has the area for the tile base, and it also has the total square footage for each of those rooms itself. So I can go and do this for some other rooms as well. Here's the bathroom up here. Let's do that one more time. Do it for these restrooms there. We'll just do it for those two. So I go through, gonna make sure I highlight all of the stuff in this room. So I move through. This one, of course, it's gonna be just a basic concrete flooring. We'll keep it so that it has that tile floor. Then I click apply, and there we go. I put some extra measurements on there as well, so it's gonna give me all the measurements across all the sides of the room. Does look a little bit busy. I could, do that again if I'd like to. I'll just keep it as is, just why not? But it now has the actual 40 square feet, 45 square feet for each of those bathrooms. So the next thing I want to bring up, now that we've done the square footage, we've marked those up, we've taken how big that is, you can actually see the material that is listed for each of those rooms. You can see the total material cost as well. These are organized based upon how the subject is lined up. So all of the base is going to be put together, all the flooring is put together. I can have this organized as well if I'd like to by material, but I think I'll keep it as the subject line. It also added everything to a specific space. So I can go into my spaces, and it'll actually have what space each of those rooms happen to be. I can name this Office 1. This one can be Office 4. And I can basically do spaces for each one of those rooms very, very, very quickly. So now that I've put these in here, the next thing that a lot of the people that were doing takeoffs and estimates would do is then export this out as a summary, and they could actually export it out as a CSV or an XML to get it into Excel and be able to edit that data. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move this over to the right-hand side, open up my blank sample bid, and you can see over here that I actually have 86, and I have all of, as I'm moving through and as I'm going through all of these, it's actually adding in all of those takeoffs that I'm doing right into Excel as I go through. If I go in and I want to add some other type of flooring, I'll just do this one manually. Go into this elevator room, add this in. It'll actually add it in 87 square feet. I put carpet in an elevator because that's how the elevators in this building are going to be, but it's going to automatically move it into Excel really, really quickly. I'm going to move over to this one here. I've done a little bit more marking up on this document itself. You can see it's pretty much fully done. If I go under this other sample bid that I've done, you can see that all of the markups that are on this page, everything over here is working directly in this Excel document. If I go through and happen to delete this one, you'll see that the numbers on this side will also change as I move and delete things off of this page. Because it's the quantity link, it's tying everything in from Revu right into Excel. Now we're going to show off the measurement tools and console enhancements. That was sort of the workflow as we went through it. This is more of just some features showing off here. So the first one is the measurement tool enhancements. So let's move into the bathroom here. So one of the new tools we have is this poly length. So before, if you wanted to measure the distance between this sink and this sink, you could just do a length from here to here, and then you would have to do all of the individual measurements in between each one of those sinks. But now we can actually go through and find out the length in between each one of the sinks, and we'll see that it is a total of 16 feet 2 inches, 4.5, 3.8, 4.4, and 3.9 feet in between each one of these as we go. One of the other additions that we've made, if this bathroom happens to have these sinks that are right here, and on the floor above or below, it's going to have the exact same layout, but we know that we need to have piping that is going to go from these things to the one above or below. We can actually go to the measurement tab here and go down and select this one here and do a rise drop. So if we know that it's a 10-foot ceiling plus there's 2 feet of space in between each of the floors, it's going to be a total of 12 feet. I can just do that, and it's going to say 28 feet 2 inches with a rise drop of 12 feet, and it has all of that information with still all these ones in between each of those sinks, plus the total length and the rise drop total distance. The other addition that we made this year is to be able to add in before this is, so this is 311 square feet, but if we look at here, it actually has a slope of 3/12. We can actually go through and change the pitch to say 3/12. And now it's going to say that it's 321 square feet total with a pitch of 3/12. So you actually have an accurate, measurement of what this roof happens to be. Moving back into here. So those are our new measurement tools. The other one to show off is our count tool enhancements. So before the counts were very, they were more basic than anything else, but now you're actually able to make whatever type of markup on the page into a count tool. So what I can actually do, open up my tool chest here, open up my snapshot tool. I want to go through and actually count all the toilets on this drawing. So what I can do is I could actually go and select the toilet here, hit copy, paste, select the toilet here, select copy, paste. Now I have a toilet right on here. It's going to show down in my recent tools. I'm going to right click on this, click on change color. This way, as I make this into a markup, I'm actually able to see sort of the difference of what this toilet looks like versus other toilets that I'm putting down on the page. As you can see, I've done this a couple times before, so let's choose going black. We'll choose a new color that I haven't done before. Let's go with a burnt orange. So when I do that, now I have this burnt orange. I'll drag it, drop it into the My Tools section, right-click it one more time, and I'm going to click on Create Count. So now I can just click on this, drop it on top of every toilet in here that I'd like, and I can actually count all of the toilets that I'd like to. Going down in the markups list and go down to that count measurement, it's going to show that I have a grand total of 13. If I know that inside that family restroom it is going to be a slightly different toilet, I can actually split the counts as well. So I can right-click on that. Now this is its own specific count, so that I know that this family bathroom can have its own specific counts to it. If I have started my count, realized that I needed to continue it because I didn't grab all the toilets that happen to be on the page, I can actually right-click on these, and I can say resume count and start adding in more toilets if I need to. There aren't any more toilets on here, but we'll just start adding some in here. And we'll add those toilets to that original count that we were doing. So now we're up to 16. I can select any of the markups that I was working on before, and I can split those counts off. I can split them all as well if I need to. So now I have these 4 that are off in their own count as well. So those are the quantity takeoff tools that we have that we've done for 2017. Now we're going to move into some of the automation and visualization tools that we've done as well. These are really just sort of a rapid fire set of new tools, but here we go. So the first one, this is a very, very highly requested one for being able to quickly make whatever types of forms that you wanted to with all of that form data built into it. So here is just a sample RFI form that we've made. This is one of the longest demos, I will say, of anything out there. So I click on form, I click on auto create, and we're done with this portion of the demo. That's it, it's done. It grabbed all of the today's date with all of that, with the form area that's right over here. It even grabbed where it says signature and made this into a signature field. So one really great thing that this has done is it's really quick. It made the form. This one is an extreme only feature. For anyone that is using standard or CAD, they will be able to fill out these forms though. And as well, anyone who happens to be using a different PDF software could still fill in those forms as well. The next one we're going to show off is batch sign and seal. So this one, again, close to my heart, just because the person that designed it does sit so close to me. Here's a form. In the past, you would have to go down to markup, go down to stamp, or go into either sign, seal, or sign. Any of these documents, have to do them one at a time. So now we have this tool, clicking on File, going down to Batch, Sign and Seal, that we can actually do these all at once. So I'm going to click on Add here. Going to go to my Batch, Sign, and Seal folder, go into the signature files, select them all. When I click OK, so I'll be clicking next in just a sec, but if this is something that you have to do on a regular basis, if these happen to be new revisions of files every couple of days, you can actually save this batch of files and it'll pull them in later on, and then you can just click on load that way. But when I click on next, it's going to open up the batch sign and seal dialog here. It's going to load in all those documents. So I can do a signature if I'd like to. I could do, or I can do a seal down here at the bottom. So let's put down the seal that I can just put right here on the page. I'm going to resize it so that it fits right in on the page here. I think actually let's do a digital signature as well. So let's add this one in. I'll throw it right down here. Make it just a little bit bigger. Put that down right there. Of course, I have to type in my password since it is a real signature here. If you see down at the bottom where it says page size, I can actually go to all the different page sizes so that I can actually put that that information where I need to specifically on this page. So if I go to the 8.5 by 11, it'll load that up. So I'm going to put my seal right here and put my signature right next to it. You can see that this one is a little bit big. It is going to make sure that it is a unified size across all your documents so that it doesn't change size each way. So let's actually make this one a little bit smaller. Put that there. Now we're going to move to 9 by 11.5. Not a space to sign these per se, but let's put these over there and there. And there we go. We're all done. So when I click on done, it's going to basically process all those items. I'm going to get an error because I accidentally grabbed the files that I have that are actually locked. So let me let's go through that quickly one more time without grabbing my locked files. Now you can actually see what it looks like in real time. It's even faster. There we go. And I keep grabbing my read-only files. But as we go through, there we go. Now I got the ones that are only the ones that aren't read-only. Puts the stamp right here on the page. I can open up any of the other documents that are in this file, that folder as well. You can see that it'll put down all of the stamps on all the pages that I didn't grab that were read-only. There we go. Have that stamp right there on the page. So in this one, normally, one document. This one happened to be 7 total documents. If it was an entire folder of like 100 documents, I wouldn't have to go through and do each individually, stamping each one. So you can do it much, much, much faster. So the next one is now showing off 360 photos, and we're going to show off the 3D photo enhancements, or the 3D PDF enhancements. Let's close up some of these other tabs here. So showing off the 360 photo, there we go. Opening up this one, similar drawing to what we've seen before. It has this nice little capture. It has a progress update 2.7 with the little capture icon next to it. When I click on that, it's going to open up a 360-degree photo. You'll know it's a 360-degree photo with the little 360 in the top right-hand corner. All I have to do is click. I can drag and see this 360-degree. This is the view of the 5th floor of our office while it was in process of being built out. It's a pretty high-quality picture. I can actually zoom in, see out the window. It doesn't make the file too big. Just depends on however big that the photo is going to be in there. The The 360 cameras that work right now, it's the Gear 360 and the Rico Theta S were the two that we did at launch. I think like 5 or 6 days after it, we added about 6 more cameras. That's available on our website. I don't remember all of the names of them. They all have very interesting and technical names. But you can't even see the person's hand of the person that was taking the photo itself. But you can go through, you can see all the progress or everything that's being done. And the last one I'm going to show off is the 3D improvements. So this is just a Revit model that we exported out as a PDF, made it into a 3D model, and threw it right down here. So if you have played around with 3D models in the past, or 3D PDFs in the past, when you clicked on the little tab access down here and went to 3D model tree, it opened over here on the left-hand side. But we moved it down so it's now in where the markups list happens to be, because it just makes more sense to be down here so that this information can be viewed this way. So these are the top 10 most common, maybe top 10 or 12 most common columns that have all the metadata in it based on that specific model. Just like the markups list, I can click on columns. These are the ones that are on. I click on Manage Columns, and I can turn on and off any one that I want to. I can go through, I can actually export it out as a summary, so I can put it into Excel. But now, with it being down in the markups list, it's a lot more editable, modifiable, and searchable. So I can actually go through, I can click on Filter, so I can turn things on and off if I'd like to. I can even go through and search, so if I type in window, it's going to keep everything on that document, but it's going to keep only the windows with their true color. So everything else is going to be grayed out, so it's going to be a lot easier to see the information that you need to. But I can go through, let's go through into this bathroom here. I can click on this. I can actually edit this and say that I want this to be purple. I can say that worksheet interior walls, that's correct. Phase created new construction. Let's say this is going to be phase 2. The element ID, because we changed it to purple, it's actually going to be a 4.2 instead. You can actually modify and change this information in real time. The reason 3D PDFs are, I'll use the word neat because that's sort of what they are, is that you still get to send out a model that has the look and feel of really what you're working on, but you don't have to send out that full model from Revit that may be many, many megabytes, could be a gig or more. You can send that as a PDF, which is a lot smaller of a document, plus you're not sending out your intellectual property. You're sending out sort of a model that still has a lot of the information in there, but it's not sending out the true model. So I'm going to go through and change the color on a few more of these pieces as well. So this is going to be phase 2 again. So I can go through and I can modify these documents in real time, not having to go back into Revit if I don't want to. I can just do it all directly from here. So it's a lot more control, a lot more that you can do with this 3D model. Plus, you still have all of the same tools that you had before, being able to pull out parts of the drawing as well. You can modify, move things around, pull it out, just like you could before. But now you can do it in a lot easier way to modify those drawings. So those are the new features for Revu 2017. Went through them pretty quickly. I will say it's definitely an overview of all of them. My quick shout out here for the Bluebeam Extreme Conference. It is down here in the US. It's going to be in LA on April 14th through 16th. Our registration is going to be opening up. April 4th. That happened a couple weeks ago, so it's open. If you visit bluebeamextreme.com for more details. For any Bluebeam questions that you have, make sure to reach out to Dan. Again, here's his contact information on here. Dan
Cool.
knows his stuff. So,
thanks, Drew.
No problem.
Yeah, we had a couple of questions here. Someone posted, what version of Revu is the most current? The current version that just came out on March 7th is 2017. So if you did want to get any of the features that Drew had demonstrated today, if you have maintenance, then you can jump ahead and go to the upgrade page on Bluebeam's website and enter your information to get the updated serial number. Good thing for 2017, does allow you to do a side-by-side installation of your previous versions. Thank you, Drew, for that feature. Another question someone asked us is the advanced materials takeoff profile menu included with 2017 version, or is it a custom add-on? And I guess, Drew, your profile, is that something that you had posted on the tool set?
I believe that it's one that you can actually download from our website or something very similar to it. That was one that we did put together.
Yeah, the tool sets that you see there are plenty on the Bluebeam extension, and there are plenty of ways to further customize your tool set specific to your workflow. So the profiles, the tool sets, everything is customizable. You're able to share that with the rest of your staff so you guys can maintain a standard digital markup workflow in estimation. We'll be covering that in next week's training if you have registered for it, on how to create your profile, how to share your profile, how to manage multiple profiles on the same workstation, because we see it very often. People are using Bluebeam for different workflows, whether it be just project management, estimation, takeoffs. It could be many different things. So we'll show you how to use it for all the different workflows. Cool. Any other questions that if you guys want? Will there be a copy of